Dahmer's taking Maria off to Venice for the weekend. She's going to be going up and down in their Goria. You know the show, big laughs, actors breaking character, Agnes Brown yelling at someone for absolutely no reason. Mrs. Brown's Boys went from a scrappy stage act to a BBC juggernaut and a Christmas TV tradition for millions. But behind the laughter, the catchphrases, and that iconic purple cardigan is a very different story. A story about burnout, pay disputes, family pressure, and what it really costs to be part of the O'Carroll family empire. From a 26-year veteran quietly walking away with nothing but a Waitrose bag to legal battles that shattered the show's one big family image. These are the real reasons why some of Mrs. Brown's Boys' most beloved actors finally said enough. Let's start with the exit that genuinely shook Mrs. Brown's Boys to its core, Rory Cowan. Rory Cowan wasn't just playing Rory Brown. He was Rory Brown for 26 years. That's not an exaggeration. From the original radio sketches in the 1990s to the touring stage shows to becoming one of BBC One's biggest comedy hits, Rory was there from the very beginning, watching a small project turn into a full-blown television empire. So when he announced in July 2017 that he was leaving, fans were stunned. His final performance took place at London's O2 Arena, a massive sold-out show. And here's the detail that still stings. After the curtain fell, after more than 2 decades dedicated to one character, Rory packed his belongings into a small Waitrose plastic bag and quietly walked away. No farewell episode, no celebration or dramatic goodbye, just gone. So what pushed him to that point? According to Rory himself, the answer was painfully simple. He was exhausted and unhappy. He admitted he hadn't been happy for 18 to 24 months before quitting, not because of feuds or falling outs, but because the work had become relentless. Endless touring, the same jokes, the same format year after year. Once Mrs. Brown's Boys became a locked-in BBC format, nothing could change. Rory explained that everything had to stay exactly the same setups, the same routines and punchlines. After 26 years, it stopped being fun and started feeling like a trap. But the real breaking point was far more personal. During a tour, Rory's mother collapsed and was rushed to hospital. Doctors initially feared a stroke, but she was later diagnosed with dementia. His sister called from Australia and told him the doctors said he needed to come home immediately. He couldn't. The production's insurance company told him that his mother being ill wasn't a sufficient reason to leave the tour. He was told that if she died, then he could have time off for the funeral. That moment changed everything. Rory has never publicly attacked Brendan O'Carroll or the show, but it's clear something broke. When a job won't let you be with your sick mother, the love drains out fast. Brendan was reportedly supportive, even comparing Rory's exit to Ronaldo leaving Manchester United. There was no public feud, just a quiet ending. After leaving, Rory admitted he no longer keeps in touch with the cast, not out of bitterness, just closure. Brendan occasionally texts him about repeat fees, and that's it. The show tried to keep Rory Brown alive with a bizarre plastic surgery storyline, revealing a new actor under the bandages. Fans were confused, but the message was clear. For Rory Cowan, walking away meant choosing his life over a role that had consumed it for 26 years. If Rory Cowan's departure was quiet and dignified, Gary Hollywood's exit was the complete opposite. This is where things got messy, public, and downright ugly, and it all came down to one thing: money. Gary Hollywood played Dino Doyle, the fabulous Scottish hairdresser, from the moment Mrs. Brown's Boys premiered in 2011. For nearly a decade, Gary brought Dino to life with perfect comic timing and genuine warmth. Fans absolutely loved him, and his on-screen relationship with Rory Brown became one of the show's highlights. In 2020, everything fell apart. Earlier that year, Gary Hollywood and Damien McKiernan discovered something that floored them. They were being paid significantly less than other cast members, particularly Brendan O'Carroll and Jennifer Gibney, O'Carroll's real-life wife, who plays Kathy Brown. This wasn't a small difference. It was a substantial pay gap that left both actors feeling confused, hurt, and disrespected. They were appearing in the same episodes, doing the same amount of work, contributing to the same hugely successful show, yet earning considerably less. Gary and Damien raised the issue with the producers, asking for equal pay for equal work. Instead of a mature conversation, Gary was told his role would be reduced and that he would only appear in one Christmas special. To him, It felt like punishment for speaking up. Even Jennifer Gibney tried to convince him to stay, but Gary was done. In an interview in August 2021, he described it as the worst year of his life. He felt ignored, undervalued, and emotionally drained. He also claimed he was paid less for the spin-off show All Round to Mrs. Brown's, reinforcing the feeling that he was treated as less important. The fallout was devastating. Gary revealed he hasn't been in contact with Brendan O'Carroll since their falling out. For someone who had spent nearly a decade as part of the show's inner circle, that silence was crushing. In 2021, Gary Hollywood and Damian McKiernan launched legal action citing discrimination and unfair dismissal. When the Christmas and New Year specials aired without them, the show received its worst viewing figures to date, and fans noticed their absence. Dino and Rory were written out with a throwaway line about traveling to Wuhan, a decision that drew heavy criticism. By October 2020, it was confirmed both characters were gone for good. Despite everything, Gary later admitted that leaving gave him a new sense of freedom. For years, he had turned down other projects because of his commitment to the show. After leaving, those opportunities returned. While the show gave him financial stability, it also limited him creatively. He wanted to prove he could do more than one character, and leaving finally gave him that chance. Damian McKiernan's exit is one of the quietest and strangest in the show's history. He was brought in during 2017 to replace Rory Cowan, a near-impossible task. Over time, audiences warmed to him, and his chemistry with Gary Hollywood worked well. But behind the scenes, Damian was caught up in the same pay dispute. Unlike Gary, Damian said almost nothing publicly. One episode he was there, the next he was gone. No farewell, no explanation, just silence. Since leaving, he has continued acting and focused heavily on charity work, particularly with children's health causes. Then there's Fiona O'Carroll, Brendan O'Carroll's daughter, who played Maria Brown. By 2022, Fiona had quietly stepped back from the show. After years in the role, she felt confined and wanted to explore life and creativity beyond her father's world. The situation was made even more difficult by her real-life divorce from co-star Martin Delaney, who played her on-screen husband. Having to portray a happy marriage with her ex-husband took an emotional toll. Stepping away wasn't about conflict, it was about reclaiming her independence. Martin Delaney's exit was equally quiet and deeply human. Following his divorce from Fiona, he was expected to continue playing a loving husband on screen.